Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to see exploratory data analysis, shortly called as EDA. Now EDA is one of the most important tool, and it's a subdomain of data science and data analysis, and it's an important tool because using this you are able to visualize your data in a much effective way. So let's see how can we do exploratory data analysis. Firstly, we have to download a data set. So let's download the dataset from Kaggle. So here simply you have to type air quality dataset from Kaggle, and here you can see, simply click it, and here you can see that Kaggle website is here, and here it says that air quality data in India. So basically in this project what you have to do is you have to do the air quality index prediction. Okay, so here there are 5 data set in the CSV format. So let's check out each and every data set one by one. Now here you can see that this is a data set which contains the columns such as station ID, station name, city, state, status, etc. Now for calculating our air quality index, we don't need these data, right? Station ID, station name. What we need is the elements like carbon dioxide, NO2, etc. So now this data set, it contains the data on the basis of station ID. Now these station IDs are literally boring. So we'll not do our prediction on the basis of station ID, but we'll do it using city. Okay, so here you can see that instead of stations, here they have mentioned cities and the rest things are same. Here you have the elements such as PM 2.5. Now PM is particulate matter and 2.5 is the size of the matter. Similarly here PM 10, it's particular matter with the size of 10. Okay, and the rest of the elements which are helpful in calculating our air quality index. So we don't need these 4 data sets. We are going to choose just this data set. So simply download this data set from here. Okay, simply click here and you can see your data set will be downloaded in your device. Okay, now this is in the zip format. You will, when you will click that inside that zip, you will see a CSV file. So you have to use that CSV file and not your zip file. Let's go to our Colab. So this is our Colab. Now I will tell you how you can upload your file from your device. So you have to go here and you can see your folders page opening, and from there I have already mentioned my air quality index data set. So I'll be choosing that file, and simply I can see that the air quality CSV file is uploaded in the Colab. Sometimes it will take time. Okay, so till then the file is uploading, what we will do is we'll just check out the libraries. So here I have imported first the pandas library and the numpy library. Now pandas is very much useful for importing the data set, and numpy takes into consideration all your mathematical and processing related to numbers. Okay, so here you can see you have downloaded the data set df equals to pd.read underscore csv. And now how to give this path? So simply you go here, click on these 3 dots, and just copy the path and paste it over here. Okay, after pasting, just run the data. You will see the dataset has been downloaded. Now df.head 20 means 20 rows will be displayed over here. If you write 5 rows will be displayed similarly. Now this is df.info. df.info just gives you the required information, like it tells you about the non-null values and the data type of the data. Okay, now city is object, right? So Ahmedabad or Mumbai, it's string, it's object. So that's why the data type is object. Similarly, PM 2.5, it contains the data in the float format. Now here you can see that df dot is null. It shows you which values are null and which are not. That is, if there are null values, then it shows true, and if the values are not null, then it shows false. So this is the shape of the data set before cleaning, that is before dropping the null values. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of null values in this data set. So there are two ways by which we can eliminate this null values. The one thing is we can drop the null values, or else we can fill the null values. So as you can see here that the data set is large. It contains approximately 30,000 rows over here. So it's okay if we drop the null values because the data set is very large. But if you have a smaller data set, like let's consider if you have a data set of 500 rows, and after dropping the null values, if you are getting just 100 rows, then like that is not a good data set, right? Because you have the data set has been reduced drastically, so it could affect your accuracy of the model, and it could give you wrong prediction. So that's why if you have a smaller data set, dropping the null values is not advisable. At that case, you have to fill the null values by using the mean method. Like just calculate the mean of that column, and then whatever the mean value, you can fill that mean value in place of the NaN value. So that is one method, but here I'm using the drop function because even after dropping, you can see that we still have 6,000 rows over here. So still we can work on this data set and we will get a good accuracy of the model. So here we have got the 6,000 rows after doing data cleaning, that is deleting the null values. Now we have imported Seaborn because here we have used Seaborn for plotting our histograms. So like I'm mounting my drive. No need of mounting this drive, but actually it helps you sometimes because mounting drive, why you have to mount your drive is like when you will again refresh the Google Colab, so whatever the file you have uploaded in your Google Colab, that will be lost. Okay, but once you have up like this air quality file, if you refresh your Google Colab, then after coming back to the Google Colab, you will not see this file over here. Okay, so the best way to do is you just have to upload this file into your Google Drive and just mount your drive by using this. So you don't have to upload your CSV file again and again. Just press enter. Okay, now here we have downloaded imported the package matplotlib.pyplot because we have to plot the histograms. So let's start our histogram presentation. Okay, so here SNS, this is just, you can give any random name. I have given my plot. You can give any random name to this. Now SNS is the package which we are calling from the Seaborn. Okay, so this is a method of calling the Seaborn package dot dist plot. Okay, now here I am plotting the histogram for this NO column. Okay, this NO feature. So that's why I have mentioned the column name and df1 because that column belongs to df1 dataset, the name which we have given to our dataset. KD is kernel density estimator. Now I'll show you what is that once we plot this, and HIST means histogram is true and bins 10. So let's see what these parameters mean. Just a second. We have not run these. Okay. Great. Actually, I had not run the cells, that's why we were getting that error. Now you will get it. Okay. So here you can see this is KDE, sorry, KD is false and histogram is true. Now let's first see what is histogram and I'll come back to what is KDE. Now this is our simple histogram, and on the x-axis we have the feature, that is NO, and here on the y-axis we have the frequency. Now let's take an example that you have a data set which contains people ranging from children to old age people, and okay, and in the data set you have the weight column along with the criteria of people, that is children, adult and old age people. So this is the weight, and what it represents is 4,000 people have weight ranging from 0 to 20. Okay, just take it like that. This basically shows that these number of people have weight in the range 0 to 20. Then 1,000 people have weight between 20 to 40, like that. So basically a histogram is a plot between a frequency and the feature. So this is a univariate analysis. We call it univariate analysis because we just use one feature over here. Now what is that one feature here? Only we have used NO from our data set, right? We have used only one feature. That's why we called it a univariate analysis. And bins, what is bins over here? Bins equals to 10 means this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the bins. So in total we have given 10 bins over here. Now you can change the value to 20. So see what happens. See, here you can see the 20 bins have displayed over here. Similarly, if you will give the bins as 50, you can see 50 bins have been displayed over here. So bins is basically between what range you have to display, like how many these bars you have to show in your plot. Now just see, let's see what is KDE. Okay, so here you can see that I have given KDE as true and histogram also true. So this means that when you give KDE as true, you will get this line also. Okay, this curve, bell-shaped curve. It's not exactly a bell-shaped curve, but kind of. And this on the y-axis shows the probability density. Now your histogram was showing a frequency on the y-axis, but here it shows probability density. Means that the probability of the weight of the person being between 0 to 25 uh, is, sorry, not 0 to 25, around 0 to 20 is 0.05, like that. Now let's see how you can give colors. Okay, so here I have given KD false. The full form of KD is kernel density estimator, as it estimates the density. Then we have used here hist underscore KWS, just if you have to design your histogram. Okay, so now you can see here edge color. I have given edge color as black. You can see that this is a thick border around our bars. So and the line width also you can give, like if you give the line width as 4, or let's consider 6. Oh wait, you can see that the line width has thickened and the color is green. You can change the color, okay, like this. Okay, now this is let's see what this band you can see over here, what's that. Now here I have given rug equals to true. Now what rug displays, it displays this kind of band, and you can see that this band is very much dense in this part, and here it's widely dispersed. It's because the data points are more denser over this side of the plot and not much denser on that side of the plot. So it basically shows the density of the data. Okay. Okay, now let's run this cell and see what it displays. So here you can see that the our plot is rotated, and if you give the false value over here, the plot will again get rotated like the original position. So in this way you can even rotate your plots. Now let's see how we can uh, do labeling. Okay, so here you can see that initially it was SO2 displayed over here. Why? Because here we have given the column name as SO2, so that's why it's displaying SO2. But if you want to give any other name, then simply mention over here, mention X label and whatever the name you want to give uh, below the plot. So you will see that whatever you name you give in the quotes, that will be displayed. Now see, from SO2 it has changed to sulfur dioxide. And then, like you have seen, whenever we in school we used to plot some graphs, we had to give x-axis, y-axis over here, right, in this part. So if you have to mention something like that, then you have to give label. So let's see first. Like here you can see there is nothing displayed over here, but once you give label as O2, now this is the plotting for O2 column. So when you will give label as O3, just run the cell, you will see that it's the O3 has been displayed with the color of the plot. Here you also have to give plt.legend if you want to display your label over here. Then if you want to give any title, okay, so if you want to give any title to your plot, then simply use the title function plt.title. Okay, so let's run it. You can see that histogram for benzene, the title has been displayed over here. Okay, so similarly I have plotted the graphs for each and every column of the data set. Okay, so these were the plottings of the histogram we mentioned today. So yeah, thank you, that's all for today's video of histograms. In the next video we'll be looking what are KD plots in detail. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye bye.